it's me Erica, and so today I'm going to be doing an October manga haul. I kind of have a lot of manga this time around because I think I treated myself because it is my birthday month. So I have some series that I've been collecting and just kind of had additional volumes come in from the releases from this month and kind of from last month or the end of last month. And I started to collect some like nostalgic series that I read when I was younger, or like where it's printed like a long time ago, and then now I'm just starting to kind of read. So that's what I'm going to be showing today, and just to highlight some of the new series that are in here if you haven't heard of them. So I'm first going to start out with kind of the singles or ongoing manga, and then I'll switch it up to the like whole stack of series that I've got, because there are a few where I'm like, okay, I really like it, but it's kind of been hard because some of them are older titles, so I've been trying to look up like half-price books or like used bookstores to find them. So I'll start off with like kind of the newer titles. So first off, we have a recent release called Romantic Killer, and this one I've read already. I don't know if I'll keep collecting it. It is a fun manga. It is about a girl who gets isekai into a new situation. So she doesn't actually get isekai to another world, but kind of like a more leveled up version of her world where she's gonna start living a harem and she has no interest in it, and she's trying all the other ways to not get into harem. It was an enjoyable read. I wasn't super in love with it, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue to collect it. The next volume that I got is one I've kind of been excited for because I do like this mangaka. She did do Daytime Shooting Star, and this work that I'm going to show is actually one of her more famous works, and I'm glad it got translated to English. And it is Tsubaki Cho Lonely Planet, and it's about a girl who has to move in to become a maid because she has to pay for her father's death, and then of course because of this she ends up moving in with a writer who she thinks is a lot older, like an old man, but it isn't. He's like 20 something years old. I really like the manga and I really like Daytime Shooting Star, so I'm interested to see where it goes because I actually haven't read it yet, like the whole manga series before getting this volume, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm happy to read the rest. Ooh, okay, so the next one, I know there's going to be an anime coming out sometime in 2023, and I was excited to read it because it's kind of like enemies to lovers, or like the slow burn kind of romance with like a twist of Cinderella in it, and it is called My Happy Marriage. I'm kind of sad that the next second volume is going to be released in January of 2023. I know there is a light novel right now out that's, you know, of course farther along, but I can't really read like as much as I used to, but it was so good. Like it tells the story about a girl who is kind of made into this marriage because her family doesn't really like her, and they think, okay, she's gonna go into this marriage where there have been a lot of rejections from the previous kind of marriage candidates by the head of the household, but it turns out everyone is really after the money, but she isn't, so that's why the head of the household likes her. But it's a very interesting story, and I can't wait until getting the second volume. The next one here is Crossplay Love Otaku X Funk. This one I actually saw, I think at Kinokuniya when I went with my sister, and it's about a kind of crossplay romance where a student falls in love with a girl, but he doesn't know it's his classmate that's cross-dressing as a girl, and then he gets nervous, then one classmate, so he cross-dresses as a girl, so it's just kind of like that kind of story. I haven't read it yet, but the interesting part of the premise the premise felt interesting, so I wanted to pick it up and give it a read. The next one I got is Lovesick Ellie Volume 6. I've read the first couple of volumes and I enjoyed it, so I decided to pick Volume 6 up. And Lovesick Ellie is a shoujo manga that's kind of about how this girl kind of writes like fan scenarios on Twitter, but no one knows it's her. until like one of her classmates finds out and kind of uses it as to blackmail her. So that's kind of the premise of Love Sick Elite, and then it kind of goes from that romance. The next one I decided to pick up was Young Ladies Don't Pick Fighting Games Volume 3. I had the other 2 volumes. I read the first one of like halfway through, but I did like it. And just as the title says, it's about girls that play fighting games and kind of the competition of it. The next one is one of my favorite series that I've recently started, not recently, but like I've been collecting, and I just, every time I get it, I read it right away. And it is My Love Mix-Up Volume 5. And this one is kind of a shoujo. I don't know if there's going to be an anime. I hope there is going to be one, because it's about like how this guy tries to confess to this other girl that he likes, but then his classmate ends up thinking, who's a guy, ends up thinking that he likes him. And it's just a really funny like story, and it does get like really serious about kind of like, oh, we shouldn't really say like we're together because they're like the same sex. It is an LGBTQ manga, which is really nice. So it does have some conversations about that. Not as heavy as it was, I guess, at least right now, as it was in like Blue Flag, but there are like kind of topics about it, and it is just a cute, funny romance too. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. The next series I have, it is called Fangs, and I have the first volume of it. I decided to pick the second one up. I'm really a sucker for like vampire kind of manga. So I decided to pick it up, even though I haven't read the first one, but I know the first one's kind of been out for a while. And then this is a BL. Next, I picked up My Hero Academia Volume 32. So the newer volumes of My Hero Academia, the story is starting to get very dark. And there's not too much happiness, and I've seen like chapters online as well for like the ones that aren't in a manga format or this kind of format yet, and just not happy right now with My Hero. I haven't actually watched the newest season of My Hero because I've still kind of been on the last few episodes of the previous season that was before it, just because I've kind of read through it, and I don't know, I just didn't motivate me to watch the anime, because I was like, I already know what's gonna happen in the manga, but I need to watch it so I can watch the new season. So yes, here is that volume. And the next one is this one that I know there's an anime for right now. I haven't watched it yet because I don't think it's on Crunchyroll, but it might be on another site. It is Play It Cool Guys, and it's just talking about guys, 4 different guys that live like clumsy lives. So it's kind of a slice of life, and then somehow they get all interconnected. And with Play It Cool Guys, it is a fully colored manga. I've got the other volumes, and it is a fun, like, light read to do if you're not wanting to, like, think heavily about what you're reading. So next, there's gonna be, like, now there's tons of, like, there's series for this particular one. So, yes. So the first series that I'm gonna show has actually been out for a while. I wasn't planning to pick it up because I loved the original series, and I heard the kind of mixed things about the newer Fruits Basket, so it is Fruits Basket, another. But I decided to pick it up because I know, I was like, I can't just get volume 4, because volume 4 of Fruits Basket Another, which is coming out I think later in 2023, is gonna have the 3, Hattori, Shigure, and Ayame, and kind of retell like some extra stories about their married lives. And I'm a really big shipper of Hattori and Mayu, so I was excited, but it just didn't feel right to just get volume 4, so I decided to get all 3 volumes that are currently out of Fruits Basket Another. So here is volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. so I'll eventually get to reading this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to read whenever volume 4 does come out and skip to the Ayame and all the Mabuchi trio people first and then read through it as well. So the next series that I got is actually, I got the first volume at Half Price Books when I was there, and I read the back and I was like, oh my god. This reminds me of Gakuen Babysitters, and Gakuen Babysitters, if you don't know, is like my comfort show. It's about like a teen boy who loses his parents and has to take care of his little brother and ends up having to take care of babies at his school as like a babysitter club. And you know, when I first watched the anime, I was like, it's cute. I didn't expect to cry because there's like some sad moments in there, but when I found this one, I was like, why haven't I heard of this before? It kind of does have some of the Gakuen Babysitter kind of elements, and it is called Aishiteruze Baby, and this is an older title. I think this was, when I was reading it, it was published by Viz in Shoujo Beat, so by Shoujo Beat in 2003, so that's over like 20 years ago. So I've been wanting to collect it because I read the first volume and I was like, wow, it really is like that. And I got volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. So I believe there's 9 volumes, and I'm tracking them down on either Amazon or other Half Price Books because it is an out of print series, and some of the series I actually got, as you can tell by the sides, you can tell it's older because it's a lot more yellowed, and I believe when I got volume 3 there is some damage to it, but it's still readable, and it's kind of expected when you do collect older manga that it's going to kind of look like this. It's not going to be pristine condition as always. And there is also an anime of this manga, and I started watching it, and it's kind of faithful, at least for the first few episodes that I've seen, where it kind of does follow like the manga pretty to the T. And Aishiteruze Baby is about a kind of playboy high school student who has to end up taking care of his younger cousin and kind of, you know, learns like it's more to life than just having fun. You can also have fun with family, and kind of builds him up to be responsible, taking care of it. The next series that I got, I also picked up from Barnes & Noble, from Half Price Books, and it did seem like an interesting series, so I might collect a little bit and see how it is, because there was, unfortunately, at Half Price Books you kind of get what you see, so I only saw like 3 and 4 of this manga. So the manga that I got, not even 3 and 4, I didn't read 4 and 5. This manga is Voice Over Seiyu Academy, and so this is volume 4 and this is volume 5, and it's about a story about a girl that wants to be a voice actress for anime. So I thought that was an interesting read. I mean, of course I can't read it yet because I got volume 4 and 5, but it seemed interesting by the premise, so I think I like it. If I don't, well, I probably like donate these back to Half Price Bookstore. So the next series I got, the first volume I did find at Half Price Books when I went with my friend, and I was like, why didn't I feel like I read like the first volume of the series way back before, like when I would not buy manga and would read it online, but I just, because like the first volume I was like, I feel like I've read this before, and it is a kind of manga about Yakuza, because that's my thing. I really like the Ryugakuto series. I mean, this isn't that, but like kind of like, it does, I like those kind of stories, I don't know why. And this manga is called The Wild One, so this is volume 1, volume 6, 7, 8, 10, and 5. So I don't have them all in order. I think, I can't tell because I did order some of these books from Right Stuff. I can't tell if this series is out of print or not, or they just haven't, you know, it's kind of been on right stuff of like, oh, we'll be getting more. So I'm not sure if it's totally out of print or like some of the volumes are out of print, but this is an older series. When I think I looked, it was saying that, so the first printing was in December of 2007, so more than 10 years ago. So, and I can tell it's older because some of the series that are in here at the back that are their advertising, I remember them being new when I was like in middle school. So it's an older series, and it's about a girl who recently lost her mom and then is taken care of by her grandpa, who ends up being the boss of a Yakuza gang, and she ends up getting a bodyguard and like kind of falling in love with her bodyguard. So I wanted to read it. I could have sworn like when I was younger I read like the first volume, because I was like, there's some parts like I remember I read this, but I don't know, maybe that's just me thinking that I read it before. Or there's a similar story relating to kind of like this kind of scenario. So the next series that I bought, which I was thinking about for a while because I did really like the Japanese drama of it. And it is an older series that is out of print in singles. It's still in print in the omnibus editions, and what I'm talking about is Hanakimi, or Hanakazari Kamichie. I probably said it wrong, but Hanakimi. So I have a bunch of different volumes because as I mentioned, it is out of print in singles. Some of the volumes are worse than others about it, so that's what you get from collecting out of print manga. All of these came from half price books, or different half price books. So this is volume 10, volume 12, volume 13. This one is really like different, like there's like sun bleached. Volume 14, volume 5, volume 1, 2, 3, 8, and then volume 5 again because I was an idiot and didn't realize and looked at my kind of list of manga that I owned, that I already had it, so I'm probably gonna either like donate it back to half price books or give it to one of my friends who wants to read the series. But Hanakimi is, as I mentioned, if I didn't mention, a drama that I watched like back on Crunchyroll or Drama Fever, that released back in 2010 with Shun Oguri, Ikuto Toma, and Horekta Maki. And I'm not sure how faithful the drama was to the manga, because I never read the manga. I've only watched the drama, and I was like, this is it was one of the first Japanese dramas I watched, so I was kind of debating whether or not to collect the series because I enjoyed the drama so much. So I just decided to do it. It would have been easier if I just collected the manga that was in print with the omnibus, but I guess there was like four of the single volumes at half price books, and I decided just like, well, you know, let's just try to collect the singles of it. So that's why I decided to pick it up. So I can't think of the names of the characters in the anime / manga or drama. I just know them as the actors that played them in the Japanese drama, so I'm just gonna use that name. So it tells a story about the main girl who's played by Horekta Maki in the Japanese drama, and how she cross-dresses to get into an all-boys school so that she can meet her idol, who's played in the Japanese drama by Shun Oguri, and she kind of realized like he's probably like tsundere and doesn't want to do anything. Is not really motivated too much by the sport that she fell in love with because of him, and she kind of also meets another love interest played by Ikuto Toma, and kind of like the adventures of them in the all-boys school. So I mainly got it because I really enjoyed the drama and wanted to see how it kind of ended and how some of the other characters are as well in comparison to the drama that I watched like almost over 10 years ago and the book fell. The next series that I bought, which I realized, like, why did I never collect this series too? And then similarly to Hanakimi, it was also a Japanese drama that I liked. And I just never figured out why I never collected the manga, because the manga is really cool and it seems like the story is up my alley. And the thing I am talking about is Otomen, and Otomen tells a story about a guy that looks like he's a really tough guy, but he actually is very soft. He likes cooking, sewing, and all that kind of what you would say, I guess, feminine related activities, and kind of like how he meets this girl who's kind of like, you know, the opposite. She looks feminine but doesn't know how to do anything related to it. And for this series, don't think it's out of print. I think it's just printing pretty slow. So I don't actually have all the volumes. Like, as I mentioned, this is the first volume I've had, which is volume 2, not even 1. And majority I got it at Right Stuff. One of them I did get at Half Price Books, which kind of made me like, that's why I decided to collect it, because I was like, why didn't I do it before? So there is, I believe, 18 or 19 volumes of this manga, and it's a completed series. So I have what these is in stock right now. I know you can buy it like secondhand, but I don't think the series is out of print yet. I think they're just printing pretty slow for it. So I have volume 2, volume 3, volume 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which is, this is the last volume, 6, and 7. So there are some that I'm missing for this series, which I'll probably get eventually. Most likely one I really need to get is volume 1. Yeah, there is one more series that I'm going to show, and this was because I've kind of been back and forth about the series, because if I do collect it, it's going to be long, like 40 or 50 volumes long. And I'm starting to run out of room again, even though I have a new bookshelf. But I was like, I should, and at the same time I'm like, I shouldn't, but I decided to do it anyways, because I do like the series, and the series that I'm talking about is Haikyuu. So I actually bought these at Target, because Target does sell some manga, the really popular like shonen titles, and Target was having a sale on their app, and I think what catapulted me to actually committing was because I needed some free shipping, and books, at least on Target, was like buy one get half off. So, or I can't remember, it was buy one get one half off, or buy one get one free. And I was like, I've been meaning to collect the series and going back and forth about it, but might as well do it. So I got volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I believe there's like 50 volumes. So long ways to go. But I'll collect them kind of sparingly. I don't think Haikyuu's gonna go out of print anytime soon, just because I feel like a lot of people like Haikyuu, so it wouldn't make any sense to not stop printing it. But other than that, that is all the manga that I bought so far for October. I know it's like the middle of October. It's like getting near, honestly, though. So I wanted to film this video so I can start cleaning up. I didn't think I would make this video, it's just I was like, might as well. Let me know what you guys are reading for manga, or if you have heard any of these series, or are looking forward to new releases. There are a couple of new releases that I'm looking forward to, that like 7 Seas, man. 7 Seas has been releasing a lot of the manga that I really like wanted to get series. Like, I'm still hoping up for Gakuen Babysitters one day, then it will be serialized in English. But I know one of the series that I'm looking forward to that is going to be serialized by 7 Seas is Rainbow Days, which is an anime that I really liked, as well as Rise no Tanin Iga, which is one of the most steamier titles. I think this is going to be released by Steamship, which is technically still 7 Seas. But those are 2 of the releases that I am excited for, so let me know what you're excited for. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!